Quit these 7 foods and reverse type 2 diabetes naturally. Doctor reveals what Big Pharma won't. I still remember the sound of the heart monitor, steady, cold, unforgiving. My mother lay there, eyes closed, surrounded by machines, tethered to tubes and drifting between sleep and exhaustion. She had just suffered her second insulin crash that month, and I, Dr. David Mitchell, a board-certified endocrinologist, stood at her bedside, helpless, all the medical degrees, the training, the science, and I couldn't stop my own mother's diabetes from spiraling out of control. I asked her, "Mom, why didn't you tell me you were struggling again?" She looked at me and whispered, "I thought it was just my fate. It runs in the family, right?" That moment broke something inside me, and it also lit a fire, because everything I had been taught, everything she believed, was a lie. Diabetes, especially type 2, is not a sentence written in our DNA. It's not a curse passed down from generation to generation. It's something far more dangerous, a reaction to the modern food environment we've been sold. A betrayal hidden in every healthy label. A system that profits from keeping us sick. What if I told you that the majority of people with type 2 diabetes could transform their health, not with more medication, but by simply removing the right foods? What if reversing diabetes naturally was not only possible but already happening? That's exactly what I've discovered, and today I'm going to share it with you, because what happened to my mother won't happen to you, not if you know the truth. The lie we've been sold: diabetes is not your destiny. For decades we've been fed the same comforting excuse. It's just genetic. We've heard it from doctors, from friends, even from ourselves. My dad had diabetes, so I guess it's just in the cards for me too. But what if I told you that over 90% of type 2 diabetes cases aren't written into your DNA? They're written into your daily habits. I've worked with thousands of patients who once believed they were doomed, people who were told they'd be on insulin for life. People like James, a 52-year-old teacher who came into my office injecting 120 units of insulin every day. His father had diabetes. His uncle had lost both legs to it. He thought he had no chance, until he learned what I'm about to show you. See, type 2 diabetes doesn't begin in the pancreas. It begins in the kitchen. Here's what's really happening inside your body. Think of insulin like a key. Its job is to unlock your cells and let sugar in, so your body can use it for energy. But when you flood your system with carbohydrates, especially refined carbs and hidden sugars, it's like making too many copies of that key. Eventually, your cells stop responding. The locks jam. That's insulin resistance. And here's the kicker. This can be reversed, not with starvation, not with medication, but with the right food choices, meal timing, and natural strategies that work with your body instead of against it. The real lie isn't that diabetes is incurable. The real lie is that you are powerless to change it. You're not. Your body wants to heal. You just have to stop giving it what's hurting it and start giving it what it truly needs. The hidden carbs you didn't know you were eating. Let me take you to where the real battle for blood sugar begins. Not in the pharmacy, but in your pantry. You think you're doing the right thing. You've swapped soda for diabetic-friendly cereal. You've chosen multigrain crackers labeled heart-healthy. But here's the shocking truth. Many of these so-called safe foods are secretly sabotaging your blood sugar. Let's look at those whole grain crackers. Flip the label over and you'll see a tidy little carb count. But did you know food manufacturers are legally allowed to underreport the actual amount of carbs? On average, they're packing 10% more than what's on the label. And that light breakfast cereal marketed for diabetics. In testing, it spiked blood sugar levels higher than table sugar. Yes, higher than pure sugar. We've been trained to count calories and carbs, but no one told us about the quality of those carbs or how they digest faster than you think, causing sudden spikes that wreak havoc on insulin levels. Here's a science bomb for you. Your body has essential amino acids and essential fatty acids. But there's no such thing as an essential carbohydrate. Your liver can actually make all the glucose your body needs through a natural process called gluconeogenesis. In other words, you don't need to depend on bread, cereal, or crackers. Your body is already equipped to survive and thrive without them. The real danger isn't what you know, it's what you don't know is hiding in plain sight on your plate. Kitchen hacks that changed everything. Let me tell you a story about pasta, yes, pasta, that completely changed the way one of my patients approached food. Her name was Claire. She loved Italian cuisine, but felt guilty every time she twirled her fork through a plate of spaghetti. After years of avoiding carbs, she felt trapped in a cycle of restriction and rebound. That is, until we made one simple shift. And her blood sugar thanked her. You see, Italians eat pasta all the time, yet their diabetes rates are significantly lower than in the US. Why? It's not about cutting carbs entirely, it's about how you eat them. Here's the trick. They use high-fiber pasta, add olive oil, and, this is key, they never overcook it. That firm, al dente texture, it lowers the pasta's glycemic index. Less spike, more stability. Want to take it further? Try freezing your bread or pasta before you eat it. Sounds strange, right? But when you freeze and properly thaw starchy foods, the structure of the starch changes, making it harder for your body to break it down quickly. That means slower digestion and steadier blood sugar. Claire started freezing her sourdough bread, eating high-fiber pasta al dente with olive oil and pairing it with a little protein. She combined that with a natural glucose support supplement, and the results were astounding. Her after-meal spikes dropped by over 40%. These aren't gimmicks. They're simple food strategies rooted in science that work with your body, not against it. The best part, you don't have to give up the foods you love. You just have to prepare them smarter. And when you do, your blood sugar and your life can begin to change. Deadly drinks, where most people slip up. If there's one thing silently wrecking your blood sugar, it's not always the food on your plate. It's what's in your glass. Let's talk about your lunch break. You grab a sandwich and a 12-ounce, a can of soda. Seems harmless enough, right? That single soda delivers over 40 grams of sugar, more than most people with diabetes should have in an entire day. But it doesn't stop there. Ever treated yourself to a fancy coffee drink on the way to work? A 16-ounce caramel macchiato might feel like a reward, but it contains about 60 grams of carbs. That's equivalent to 4 slices of white bread in a cup. These drinks cause massive glucose surges, triggering insulin spikes and leading to energy crashes that keep you reaching for more. So what can you do instead? Start your day with filtered water and lemon. It helps hydrate and alkalize the body. Add black coffee with a splash of heavy cream if you need caffeine. And if you want something naturally sweet later on, try the sweet potato trick. Boiling one for 30 minutes drops its glycemic index from 61 to 46. It's dessert with benefits. Remember, what you drink can either heal you or quietly destroy your progress. Why gentle movement beats the gym? Most people think beating diabetes means spending hours in the gym, drenched in sweat, pushing through exhausting workouts. But here's the truth. When it comes to blood sugar, less can actually be more. High intensity. Workouts may seem effective, but they trigger a rise in stress hormones, especially cortisol, which can ironically raise your blood sugar levels. Your body goes into fight or flight mode, releasing stored glucose to fuel the effort. Not exactly what you want when you're trying to lower it. Now here's what works better. Gentle, consistent movement. Just a 10-minute walk after each meal can significantly reduce post-meal blood sugar spikes. Why? Because your muscles act like sponges, soaking up glucose and using it for energy. No gym membership, no fancy gear, just a walk around the block. One of my patients, Mike, was skeptical. "You really think a slow walk can beat a workout?" he asked. But after trying it for 1 week, after every meal, his glucose readings improved dramatically. It's not about intensity. It's about timing and consistency. Gentle movement tells your body, hey, we're using this sugar right now. No need to store it. And that's the kind of conversation your body loves to have. The yogurt trap. Plus, natural GLP-1 production. Let's take a stroll down the dairy aisle, where some of the worst blood sugar offenders hide behind health halos. You see a smooth container labeled low-fat yogurt with pictures of strawberries and claims like heart healthy or good source of calcium. Seems like a smart choice, right? Wrong. Most low-fat yogurts are desserts in disguise. Over 60% of their calories come from sugar. When manufacturers remove fat, they add sugar to boost flavor, and your blood sugar pays the price. So what's the better choice? Choose full-fat, plain Greek yogurt. Add a few fresh berries if you want a touch of sweetness. The natural fiber in berries slows down sugar absorption, making it a blood sugar-friendly snack. But here's where things get even more exciting. You've probably heard of medications like semaglutide and tirzepatide, GLP-1 drugs, that help with blood sugar and appetite control. But what if I told you your body can actually produce its own GLP-1 naturally? Yes, your body has its own built-in diabetes defense system. You just need to activate it. How? Start with bone broth, rich in glutamine, a key fuel for GLP-1 production. Simmer it for at least 24 hours to unlock its full power, and don't overlook bitter foods like arugula, dandelion greens, or rosemary. Every bitter bite tells your body to release GLP-1. When one of my longtime patients combined these foods with a natural supplement that supported glucose levels, her cravings dropped, her energy rose, and her blood sugar stabilized. This isn't just about avoiding spikes, it's about unlocking the powerful hormones your body already knows how to use. Meal timing and food order, the game-changing strategy. What if you could improve your blood sugar without eating less, just by changing the order in which you eat your food? Sounds too simple, right? But science backs it up. Eating your protein and vegetables before your carbohydrates can increase GLP-1 release by up to 300% and drastically reduce post-meal blood sugar spikes. Let's break it down. When you start your meal with fiber-rich vegetables or a bit of protein, it slows down how quickly glucose from carbs enters your bloodstream. This gives your pancreas time to release insulin gradually, avoiding the roller coaster effect of glucose surges. Add a dash of apple cider vinegar to those veggies, and you get an even stronger effect. The acetic acid delays gastric emptying and reduces carbohydrate absorption. One patient, Natalie, tried this simple shift. Instead of diving straight into her rice or bread, she'd start with a small salad tossed in vinegar and olive oil, followed by grilled chicken. Then, and only then, would she touch the starch. Her post-meal readings dropped within days. No pills, no extra cost, just food in the right order. This strategy doesn't require willpower, just wisdom, because sometimes the solution isn't to eat less, it's to eat smarter. The transformation of Anna Walker, a real patient story. Let me tell you about Anna Walker, a retired nurse from Missouri, 64 years old, kind-hearted, always putting others first. But for years, she couldn't take care of the one person who needed her most, herself. Anna came to me frustrated and exhausted. She was injecting 300 units of insulin every single day. Her doctors told her it was progressive, that she'd eventually need more medications, not fewer. But she asked me, something most patients don't. Is there another way? And there was. We started small, just one step at a time. She began every meal with a small plate of bitter greens drizzled in apple cider vinegar. She swapped out her low-fat yogurt for full-fat Greek with berries. She froze her sourdough bread overnight and thawed it before toasting. She took a 10-minute walk after lunch and dinner. Most importantly, she paired these habits with a natural glucose support supplement, giving her body a nudge in the right direction. After just 6 weeks, Anna's insulin requirement dropped by 60%. Her energy came back, her sleep improved, her cravings faded. She called me one day with tears in her voice and said, "For the first time in years, I feel hopeful." Now, is this typical? No. Everyone's body is different. But what Anna's story proves is this: you are not stuck, you are not broken. And with the right knowledge, the right tools, and the right habits, your body can begin to heal, just like hers did. Diabetes doesn't have to define you. You're not a victim of your genes or your past mistakes. You're a human being with an incredible body, one that's capable of healing, adapting, and thriving when given the right support. So maybe today, you start small. Add fermented foods to your dinner, take a walk after your meal, swap your low-fat yogurt for something real, or try that bone broth trick. Whatever step you take it with confidence, because your journey back to health doesn't begin with medication. It begins with you, and your future self will thank you.